Hi, my name is Anton. I'm the CEO of Delnorte, and today I'd like to discuss the upcoming bull market that I believe, is coming in 2024. Right now, it is the end of August. I'm here in my office, and like most people in the blockchain space, I believe that in the next coming couple of months, and probably the next 18 months or so, we will have a massive bull market unlike previous ones we've seen. Why do I believe that? There's a lot of signs that point to this happening, mainly because there's a lot of institutional investments. Right now, they're mostly focused, of course, on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but that it will change with time. And I do think that perhaps even as soon as sometime next year in 2025, we will have ETFs for alternative coins, such as Ripple, Solana, many others. And again, why do I believe that? Because these things have already happened in parts of the world. In Brazil, I know they had a ETF for Solana recently. And here in America, where I'm located, the chairman of the Federal Reserve has come out and said that they plan on lowering the rates in the next, in the next meeting, which is in September. So that's just a couple of weeks away. Another important aspect, and why I believe there is going to be a huge bull market, is because the biggest political donors in the United States right now are actually crypto companies. It's just a handful of companies, but they are all of the big crypto companies that are actually being sued by the SEC. Some of them, of course, have won their cases quite recently, just also like a few weeks ago. And we don't know if they're going to appeal or what's going to happen there, but I think that's kind of irrelevant. I think the fact that they did win their case, and such as Ripple, for example, and Coinbase, and like 20 other cryptocurrency companies who had done ICOs here in the United States, while it is still a gray area, these cases were all either won or dropped by the SEC, and now these companies are huge political donors. So I do think that whoever wins, obviously I'm very much rooting for one side over the other. I'm guessing, you can guess which side that is. I won't go into politics in this talk, but yeah, I do think that it will be very, very positive for the crypto community and for the actual market itself. Because I do think that the politicians in general are now coming around to the fact that they need to really work with the crypto and blockchain community and technology itself, because there's no way of avoiding it at this point. It's not, this is not 2017 or even 2021. And this will only grow in the future. I also think that with AI, that market has certainly cooled down a bit since last year, mainly because there was just a lot of hype, and not all of that hype came to fruition. People are realizing now that we might be still a few years away before we have true artificial general intelligence, which is like the Skynet from Terminator. That would be AGI, or Data from Star Trek or something like that. So I think we're still far away from that. But AI is getting better, and there's a lot of crypto projects, such as obviously my project, that are now heavily integrating AI functionalities and AI software and specific AI, yes, not side projects, but just integrating AI into the main platform or main product with it. So I do think that will drive the market as well. And obviously there's AI coins, there's distributed data coins, meaning that one of the biggest issues with AI is the processing power, because a query done through one of the AI models, I won't name each one because it's really all of them, whether it's Grok from X or ChatGPT that everybody knows, or the cost of doing that query versus just a regular search engine, it's like 10 times. It's 10 times more expensive, and that because of the way that it functions, because of the network that it has to run through, it just ends up being 10 times more expensive. And there are crypto projects out there. Again, they're not paying me, so I will not name them, but you can look them up. There are crypto projects out there that are trying to tackle these issues, and some of them are quite good. And obviously there's projects like mine, which are literally working directly with governments to implement both certainly blockchain technology, but through that same channel, we are going to be implementing AI as well, directly injecting it into government functions. So I think that will drive the market forward, and that will also drive investment. And this year being the biggest election year, I think in like the history of the world, or certainly in the last 60 years, there's been elections, major elections, in half of the countries. I think it was 68 countries that had major, presidential or major elections. A lot of the European countries, the European Union, obviously. And the final one that I think the world is kind of waiting for right now, and the one that will certainly sway the market the most, I believe, because it is, depending on which metric you look at, between a quarter to a third of the entire crypto market, and certainly the AI market as well, is the United States. So I believe that people are just waiting for the American elections, and hopefully they will, the pro-business candidate wins the election, and business will be good for everybody once again. So that is what we are all hoping for, and I think that's it looks like that is where things are heading. To back up my claim, I have added a short speech directly from Jerome Powell, chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve, as well as news from, I think it's NBC, talking about how much money is being pumped into the American elections this year. It's literally the number one election donor for American-based crypto companies. The number one election donor. I don't know exactly who they're donating to, but as only one candidate seems to be pro-crypto versus the other candidate, I would wager to bet that they're probably giving more money to the guy that's pro-crypto. Yeah. Anyway, enjoy. Till next time.
Follow up on that a bit. If inflation behaves as you expect between now and September, would you regard a cut in September as sort of the baseline scenario right now?
So I guess I would think about it this way. I'll give an example of cases in which it would be appropriate to cut, and maybe that it wouldn't be appropriate to cut. So if we were to see, for example, inflation moving down quickly, or more or less in line with expectations, growth remains, let's say, reasonably strong, and the labor market remains, consistent with its current condition, then I would think that a a rate cut could be on the table at the September meeting. If inflation were to prove stickier and we were to see higher readings from inflation, disappointing readings, we would weigh that along with the other things. I think it's going to be not just any one thing. It's going to be the inflation data. It's going to be the employment data. It's going to be the balance of risks as we see it. It's going to be the totality of all of that help us make this decision.
And just to follow up on that, specifically, in what ways right now, given all you've seen over the last few months in particular on shelter, on services, et cetera, in what ways are you not confident right now that inflation is on the way back to 2%?
I think it's just a question of seeing more good data. We have seen the last couple of readings have certainly added to confidence, and we've seen progress across all three categories of core PCE inflation. That's goods, non-housing services, and housing services. So it's really just, we had a quarter of poor inflation data at the beginning of the year. Then we saw some more good inflation data. We had 7 months at the end of last year. We just want to see more and gain confidence. And as I said, we did gain confidence, and more good data would cause us to gain more.
Now, in the books, in the rearview mirror, Vice President Harris and former President Trump are beginning the sprint now to November. And the crypto industry is flexing its financial might to have a real impact on the election. And Mackenzie Sigalos joins us now with more. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Joe. So nearly half of all the corporate money being pumped into this year's election is coming from the crypto industry, according to a new report from the nonprofit watchdog group Public Citizen. Now, the sector, which has been under high scrutiny by the Biden administration, is outspending big oil and banks this cycle, with Koch Industries in a distant second place in terms of corporate contributions. Heavyweights like Coinbase, Ripple, and VC firm Andreessen Horowitz, which has a sizable crypto book, have collectively given more than $146 million with the goal of trying to get candidates who are friendly to the industry into office. Now, most of that corporate money being raised is going to the popular and bipartisan pro-crypto super PAC called Fairshake, which is one of the top spending PACs this year. I spoke to their team last night to get the latest numbers on the 4 largest donors to Fairshake and its associated PACs. Coinbase has contributed $49 million. A16Z and Ripple have both given $47 million each, and Jump Crypto put in $15 million. Now, as for where all that money is going, a filing with the Federal Election Commission this week showed that in July, Fairshake dispersed almost $75 million and still has nearly $120 million left to deploy, with 73 days to go until the November election. The super PAC has pledged $25 million from that pool of cash to 18 House candidates in the general election to be split among 9 Democrats and 9 Republicans. It's committed another $18 million to 3 Senate races, Joe.
So we're in the sprint now, Mackenzie. That's what we just said. Yesterday, we had 75 days. I think 74 qualifies. With 74 days, how many hours, guys? 17 hours.
What time do they consider election day?
22 minutes
Midnight?
and 8 seconds, 6 seconds. I can't, Mackenzie, but that is a sprint. And I don't know what happens now. Do you, in terms of crypto or anything else? I'd like to know a lot about what everybody's going to do. I do need to know more. I'm joyous because I have a great job. Kelly is here. I'm joyous every day. I have a great family, but I need to know something. I need to know about crypto. Do we know is Gensler going to be Treasury Secretary? Mackenzie, can you break that news here?
That is shocking.
Well, what I can tell you is that last month I was in Nashville and Donald Trump was headlining the biggest Bitcoin event of the year. When he was last in office, he called Bitcoin a scam. He's had this big about face that has coincided with the tens of millions of dollars that have been pouring into the race from crypto companies. And he said during that speech that he planned to oust Gensler from his post of chair were he to take office. But what's really interesting here is the fact that 4 companies are dominating the spend. So Fairshake, that PAC I just told you about that has a $120 million war chest, there are 4 companies accounting for more than 93% of that cash. And these are companies that are battling the SEC. Ripple and Coinbase have actively been in courtrooms against Gensler. And so what we're really seeing here is that it's not necessarily that crypto is an issue that's going to sway voters in battleground states or districts, but they're opening their purse strings and they're making crypto a part of the conversation by making themselves impossible to ignore when they spend this much money.